Another thing I reflected upon today was the difference in support groups that we had. This is another topic that was brought to me as something to reflect upon. And at the beginning of this project, before I got into the wheelchair, you said ask your friends to help you as much as possible because you prefer having your friends help you over EAs that help you. And that's probably the biggest difference between our support groups that I noticed. My support groups are based mainly with friends around residents, the Dons that work here and who are also my friends, and also Rebecca, who is the Residence Life team manager, as well as Glenn and Melissa, who work here in residence. And day to day, you have educational assistants who go to class with you and help you take notes and that type of thing. And sometimes you have peer tutors who attend classes with you and take your notes. What was different for me was that I was in class by myself most of the time. My Thursday classes and my organizational behavior classes, I had friends sitting with me the entire class. But other than that, I was by myself and no one was taking notes for me. The only class I did have someone take notes for was my knowledge integration class itself. But it was always a friend that was helping me do something, people that I trusted, people that I knew really well, and that I was really comfortable with in terms of putting myself in some new and sometimes uncomfortable situations. I was willing to let them come into my life and experience those with me. And sometimes you don't have that option. The people who come in and work with you, you don't know very well. Sometimes you have to get to know EAs, new EAs again, and you have people come in and help you who you don't know. And I was wondering, Morgan, what is it like? I know you prefer friends, but in the spectrum of EAs, do you prefer having EAs that know you really well, or do you prefer having new EAs that don't necessarily know you really well, that are there just to get the job done, or even workers who come to your house? Do you like them better if you know them, or if they're just there to do their job and then you can do your own thing? And how's that changed since you were younger to how you are now? I mean, I remember workers coming to your house and they were like having another friend, another part of the group. And now you have new ones a lot of the time. People that I don't know, and I don't know how often they come in to your house and how well you know them. But how's that changed since you've grown up, and how does it feel? How does it feel to trust someone new all the time? I mean, I didn't have to do that. I asked some strangers sometimes for help, like you asked me to do, but nothing ever more than opening the door, helping lift me upstairs. But things like feeding me, things like taking me to the washroom and taking me to the shower stall, those were things I always asked of people who I really, really trusted, who I know already. That's just another thing I didn't experience through my week, is having to ask someone I don't know to do something that I'm not necessarily comfortable with other people doing for me. Um, Another interesting thing I don't think I've shared yet is how close I've gotten with a lot of people in residence that I didn't expect to be close with, or wanted to be close with, that just haven't been yet. I spent a lot of time with Rebecca, the Residence Life team manager, in her office, and I got to know her really well. And there was a couple other people around residents who really stepped up, and I've spent so much time with them this week. I've learned a completely new side of them, and I think there's a really interesting bond that forms when you're both learning something new. Even when a whole group is learning something new together, you have this really, really interesting bond that connects you through experience. And um, if everything else is kept constant, I would do this project again, even just to have those experiences with these people and create these relationships, because everyone in the relationship, both myself and the other person, have learned so much together, on the giving and receiving end, and also on the new exploration of both both terms, especially when trying to get over extremely large curves, or how to brush teeth without making me have ridiculous faces and that type of thing. And those experiences have really brought me together with a lot of new people here that I think I would have really missed out on if I had never done this project. And I'm so grateful for having gotten to know them, and I'm excited to pursue these relationships and pursue getting to know them and seeing what they can teach me. Another thing that was different between our support groups is that the people that helped me throughout the day often changed hour to hour, whereas when you have someone, you tend to have them for a good chunk of time. While you're at school, I think, how does that work? Does your EA change per class that you take, which is how I did it, or do you have one specific EA for the entire day? I think it changes for you now. I know in elementary school you had one EA for the whole day, and then one that came after school and helped you. But mine was definitely different. I had different people every hour who volunteered to do certain things with me. And I don't know, I think I kind of liked the variety. And it definitely shared the message to a wide variety of people. But if I was living from day to day, I don't know if I'd rather have one person for the whole day consistently who knows me really well and does everything really well, or if I'd have a bunch of different people helping me so I don't necessarily get frustrated with just the one person. So, interesting thought. What are your preferences and that type of thing? Do you like having many different people a day, or would you rather just have one person a day? Because the one person a day could be good or bad. It could be someone you get along really well with, or it could be someone you don't really like. And I guess that's another thing that differs between our support groups as well, is that all of the people that were helping me were people that I really like. There's no one really that I don't like in residence. It's just that everyone that really stepped up are people that I'm close with. Whereas sometimes I know you can be put with EAs or workers that you don't necessarily like, that you aren't chummy with, and that's another difference between my week and what your life is that I had a choice, and sometimes you don't really have a choice as to who is working with you and helping you. There are many similarities and differences between the support groups that we had, and I know I just touched on a few of them, and there are tons more, and I think I'll probably start noticing them more and more as the days go by after this week is done. I just wanted to start talking about it now. If you can see any differences between what I had and what you had. Another one is that yours is very trained and mine is trained in what we needed to be trained in and not necessarily professionally trained. So that's probably a pretty big difference too. Anyways, back on topic. If you think of anything that you see as major similarities or differences, it would be interesting to know your side as well. Well, I think that's it, Morgan. I think this is my last letter from the week in the wheelchair, and it's been a really great week. Thank you so much for reading all my letters and replying, and it's been such a great adventure. I almost don't want to get out of the chair at midnight, but life will go on, and new adventures will present themselves as I travel down this path, and I want to thank everyone who helped me, and I hope you get to meet them sometime soon, because they're really, really incredible people. And thank you for being so fantastic and such an inspiration to me. Never stop being you, and never be afraid to be who you are, because, Morgan, you have every opportunity open to you in this world, and I know that's the truth. And I'm always going to be here for you. So thanks for helping me roll a week in your wheels. I've really appreciated it, and I've learned so much, and I'm going to value what I've learned for my entire life. Have a great night. Love you lots. Mac.